Dun, dun, dun.
Boker tov. I'm getting my tattoo. I'm getting my tattoo today after the show.
Wow.
Oh boy. Oh boy, folks.
No fucking comment.
Oh boy, folks.
Where are you going?
In Astoria.
Cool.
Because they are reasonable. We're not doing it ourselves.
Speaking of reasonable, good. All right, folks. So that's the mic check. Okay. Hope you liked it.
Yep. Getting my tattoo today after the show.
Wow.
Oh boy. Oh boy, folks.
No
All right, folks. So
fucking comment.
oh boy, folks.
Ooh and ooh, ooh.
Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley.
I'm Chemda.
I came in here today after the ZipRecruiter ad from yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole place was cleaned up. I'm telling you, this ZipRecruiter, if you don't use it,
Big mistake.
and you don't have an Andrea to clean up after you when you're trying to hire, I can't even imagine what your office would look like. Today's guest, speaking of, performed at the New York Comedy Festival, the March Madness competition at Caroline's, host of the Hot Mess Comedy Hour, producer at Keith and the Girl, Andrea Allen.
Hello.
Hello, my baby.
Oh, weird line there.
As in, you're my child.
Yeah, that's true.
Now that I made it weird.
KeithAndTheGirl.com/kick. Our Kickstarter for 2019 is up right now. How exciting. All right. Some rewards are limited, meaning the first so many people or a certain amount of time. So you'll see everything right there. It's that time of the year. KeithAndTheGirl.com/kick. Okay. All right. Let's get to some news right away. The great Ruth Bader Ginsburg fell at 85 years old and broke 3 ribs.
Now, do you care more about this or when your grandma died?
She is, well, I'm trying to think who was more mattered for Team Blue. And it's definitely Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to wrap her in bubble wrap, peanut packing, Honest to God, I would wheel her around in a dolly like she's Hannibal Lecter. She needs to stay alive.
How did this happen?
85 rock climbing.
Yeah.
She sneezed.
How did she
Oh,
die?
no, I triggered it.
No, how does who let the dogs in? Sorry, I just had a flashback. They should, even if she dies, they should weekend at Bernie's her. We can't
Right.
we can't,
can't
afford
afford
it.
it.
No. Do you think she can eat herself out now though? Without the ribs?
What if that's why she did it?
Yeah.
I'm 85.
I'm alone. My husband's dead.
It's worth it.
No, she needs a handler. You know, I remember I broke a rib and I was in Hawaii, and so they
You
do
actually
this.
broke your rib?
Yeah, and or cracked it. And
How?
the water hit me weird.
Really?
Yeah, like a wave hit me weird. I made out of crackers.
All the years of wave punching and the ocean fought back.
Uh-huh. It's not easy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and
That's on your. Was that on your honeymoon?
yeah, and they do all these X-rays and whatnot until 2 hours later they go, yeah, there's nothing you can really do with a rib. And I'm like, now you tell me.
Yeah.
Then they give me the bill, and there's a spot on the bill for a tip.
No.
No.
Stop.
No exaggeration.
Wow.
There's a spot on the day I tip a doctor. I can't believe it.
Who tipped? My brother once almost tipped a doctor because he was just getting out of his anesthesia, and my other brother, so Michael was getting the surgery. Andrew meets him, and Michael's still in a haze, and he goes, "Go get me $700 from the ATM." And Andrew's like, "I'll totally do that for you, of course. You know, they know each other's pins, everything's cool, but what do you need it for?" "I need it. Go get it for me." And he's like, "I don't." He wanted to tip the doctor.
God, that's like a drunk person.
Yes.
I've always fucking loved you.
Yeah.
And you deserve this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think one brother stopped the other.
That's good.
Yeah.
One, my dad broke 6 ribs once. We were doing dune buggies, but RV. What's the like? It looks like a giant go-kart, but it has huge wheels. I don't know why. ATVs? Yes.
Yes.
We were ATVing in a desert, and he crashed his ATV, and he broke 6 ribs, and he was in shock from the injury, and he just drove us home. And I was like, I think I'm okay.
That's so funny because my response to emergency shit is way too slow because I think my parents responded oddly also. So my brother, I pushed my brother. He landed wrong, and like I don't know if he cracked his head open or split his lip open. Blood is gushing everywhere. My mother doesn't know. We don't have a second car, and she's gonna drive the kid. But what we didn't realize, we never called an ambulance. The kid, everyone's crying. There's so much. I remember a different time my father was home, and he's driving whoever fucking just cracked the latest head or something, and he's driving like a maniac down the street. He's running lights. He's, cutting people off.
Yeah.
People are giving him the finger, cursing him out. Somebody's bleeding in the car. And in hindsight, I'm like, why not an emergency vehicle?
Money, 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 money.
I don't even know if it was that. It was just like, let's hurry up. Why would we wait? I've never waited for an ambulance before, I don't think.
My mom drove herself to the hospital when she was in labor.
I remember I couldn't breathe right before I found out I had a tumor. I was like, I think I just need an inhaler.
Yeah, that's true. You're a
And I
freak
was
show
like-
about hospitals and medication.
Yeah, I was like, how do we do this where I don't do any of that? Just tell me what to do. Tell me how much water I need to drink to get rid of this.
You're such an asshole.
So what do we do now with Ruth Ginsburg? Do we have to set her up so that she's with somebody? She doesn't have a partner.
No. Her
Some-
husband died.
Well, I thought they just got a divorce, but okay. So either way, she's not with somebody, and she needs somebody.
I'll be with her. I will marry Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Honestly, she's way out of my fucking league.
I'm reading that there's an 84% chance that if you're 16 or older, you've already met the person that you will marry.
That is a great reason to travel.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, if you already met the love of your life, you're wrong. Like, you understand that you're just in a bubble. At least look around. Okay, you met her or him. Great. check that off your list.
Yeah.
Go travel
Go
for
fuck
like a
some
year.
weirdos.
Go fuck some weirdos.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You got to.
Go to the weird place that you always wanted to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you come back, great, you're set up. Like it's off your list.
Yeah.
No, I'm from my hometown. What a magical hometown. I'm surprised there's not documentaries on this hometown. Somerset, Pennsylvania, and they all found the love of their lives. They were all from the same high school. Why this isn't a major motion picture, I don't understand. This is shocking.
And then it'll
how
be like
lucky they all got.
the outlier Keith Malley left and look, got a divorce. I mean,
of
we all got
course.
3
A
divorces, but
and then a Jew on top of that too. God, an immigrant and a Jew.
I mean, that's something they should say in the high school. I guess you're supposed to figure it out yourself. But being a teacher at that school, just go look around. To your left, to your right. You will marry one of them.
because people will burst out in bad cry tears.
Yeah.
You know, it's not gonna be like, oh yay,
Yeah.
It'll be like, wait, I'm gonna settle for what?
I feel like the actual rule should be 25 or over
Yes.
is definitely a more reasonable age. And also, I don't think you should marry one person. You are 20 different people within your lifetime easily. Have a bunch of different short relationships.
Yeah, I think we put too much emphasis in calling things a failure.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, okay. And we do that less even for businesses, like, oh, it's the best when you fail because you learn lessons and then
Yeah.
your next business is going to be awesome. Say that about my husband. Good job, you failed. You're going to find the
Right.
next awesome thing. Like, what do you care? It's
Yeah.
already in the past. Tell me how good I did.
I've dated so many failures of human beings, and
Great.
here I am, almost 30, and I'm alone. And I'm thinking about marrying Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Go back to your high school.
Oh, I went to an all-girls school,
There
and
you
then I
go.
went to a boarding school, and the person I lost my virginity to is a creep. And then the next person that I had sex with, technically probably a little bit of a rapist. You know what I mean? It's like, why go back? Ugh.
How do you settle down so early? I don't understand how anyone does it. I just figured out how to set up my apartment. And I'm 44. Well, the games would go on this shelf. What am I doing?
The story of Keith and his games and where to put them
Yeah.
is the best.
Like, it's-
15 years of podcasting about how Keith's shelf looks just right.
Well, for the rest of you guys have boring stuff, but picture whatever you had, your pots and pans, and you find the right place for it. It's like, well, what took me decades
Yeah.
to realize I was living like a crazy person. I use this company called Article, and they have just the coolest furniture, dressers, mirrors, and I'm really setting up my place like a how you doing time.
I just got a table from them and 2 chairs. Now, you know the chairs that I had in my kitchen. Do you remember like the stools?
Yes.
I'm not kidding.
Mhm.
I have a picture of this. I was sitting on one of the stools one time. It's a fucking stool, okay? I fell backwards off of it.
Both of you. I don't know how you've lived up to this point.
The thing came off. The seat came off.
Because you probably found it trash.
I did.
Yes. You have to buy things from companies where they legally have to not break.
Article brags, this company, that they don't just find stuff on the street and sell it to you. They handcraft.
Article, not from the trash.
Right.
Yeah, so now I have adult seating. You guys are all welcome to dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the first time I have like a dinner table in a long time.
Right.
Yeah. And you're proud.
Beautifully
I can't believe I
designed.
admired you.
I'm a
as a young
sellout.
person.
No.
That's fucking crazy.
They call it Scandinavian simplicity. Modern furniture, beautifully designed.
Actually, that was a big deal that it was modern, and also the design is I have a small space. It's
Yeah.
not like I can put I don't have a dining room to put a dining room table in.
Yeah.
It fits in my kitchen, and the seats fit under it, so it's like perfect for what I have, and it also acts as an island in the middle of my kitchen. So
Right.
I'm such an adult right now, you
It's
guys.
crazy. You're
And-
divorced.
Yep.
You have
Uh-huh.
a table.
Thank you.
You don't bring trash into your home.
I'm taking trash out now.
Oh,
Oh, lessons we're
just
learning.
came in my pants.
No matter how many items, every order is shipped at a flat rate of $49. So
That's
so I got $1,000 worth of things. Gotcha. Gotcha.
I got this was so sweet. The 2 guys that were they delivered it. First of all, they're really nice. They call you up and they're like, I'm this much time away. Is it still a good time? All this shit. I'm like,
Wow.
oh, you're not even losing your shit on me. It was the New York City Marathon when I got it delivered. So I'm expecting them to be like just mad
Like,
when they
fuck
come in.
you out the gate, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so they come in, they put my furniture together. Yes.
Wow.
Which really was just screwing in the bottom of the thing, but I'm like, I don't know. And they took away the boxes, so there's no garbage. So that was really good. And then it was really sweet. I didn't think like, oh, I got to tip them. So I asked for their Venmo or something like that. So they needed to give me their email. And one of them gave me their email, and it was like his name, 1995 at whatever fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, God, is 1995 the year you were born? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh. And as if I saw a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh.
I see young people.
And then, it doesn't dawn on me that anyone could be born in 1995 and then be at my house working like
Sure.
an adult.
Right.
And
They're
I'm
not
like,
in a diaper.
right. Yeah. I'm not like, good boy. So I'm just like, oh, wow. I'm sorry. I know I just reacted funny. I was born in 75. And he goes, oh, you totally don't look. I'm like, okay, all right. And then they proceeded to call me ma'am the whole time.
And then it kind of said, but interesting fun fact, you already met the person you'll marry.
I was born in 1988. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, all of it is trippy. But then 95, after I graduated high school.
Yeah. It's going to be weird. In our lifetimes, there's going to be people who are born like in 2018, and they're going to be walking around like that's fucking normal.
Yeah, enjoy that.
Yeah.
When you're 40, 50 or whatever.
I'll die before then.
Good job.
Article is offering listeners $50 off their first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/KATG. That's all it takes. Go to article.com/KATG. The discount will be automatically applied at checkout.
If you use that extension /KATG.
Well, you can't make up shit. That's article.com/KATG to get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
I got to say, Keith, I saw a photo of your place recently, and I'm very judgy. It looks great.
Thank
It
you.
looks great.
Yeah.
It looks
That's
like an
true.
adult apartment.
You know, it's fucked up. I saw the surprise on her face, like, oh, I'm not throwing up. And I
Yeah.
was like, yeah, Andrea, do you know how to hide your face at all?
Never.
Well, my girlfriend's overseas. I'm almost organizing the house as if it's going to get her off tour faster.
Aw.
Aw.
Like, the games.
Do you play the games together?
Yeah, right.
No, because because she's so busy, I only see her every so often. And
Yeah.
we're going to do, hanky-panky
Adult
games.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
sure.
Yeah, not time for Monopoly yet. But when I meet the kids,
Sure.
plenty to keep them busy and not talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading about Al Chapo. They're finding a jury, and people are freaking out.
I like that your speech impediment keeps making you say Al Chapo because that means to the Chapo.
Mm-hmm.
So that's perfect.
So
Roasted.
14 and a half years. You got me, Penta.
I knew that speech impediment would come for a great joke for me at some point.
Well, even the great Chapo is in love, and he's asking, he wasn't able to see his wife in the longest time. And he's like, okay, I know I'm a horrible person. Drug trafficking.
Sure.
I'm behind murders.
Who doesn't fuck up?
But I miss my wife. And I tried to escape prison, and I did. And you caught me again. But can I just hug my wife?
That's the only reason I left prison. Otherwise, you guys run a great establishment here.
I'm sure he treats her very nicely. Based off his history, I'm sure he's super nice to women.
Do you think he knows what a hug is, or he just needs to slap her around a little bit?
Yeah.
He needs to whisper something in his ear, to get out,
Yeah.
Joaquin Guzman is warning that if he doesn't get to hug his wife, he's going to have a mental breakdown.
Good. Do it.
Perfect.
His lawyer is saying, I respectfully write to request that Mr. Guzman be allowed to give his wife,
He started with I respectfully.
yes, a brief momentary greeting to include perhaps an embrace. It can be a brief embrace in open court with the courtroom railing between them. This entire process should not take more than a few seconds.
Why does he get allowances like this?
Right. It should be,
I think you should let me.
please.
I've been so good. I'm here again.
What does that guy's lawyer think? Like being with him on the day to day, I can only imagine being with such an animal.
El Chapo seems like a movie character.
Yeah.
I'm picturing, I just watched Daredevil and I'm picturing it's like a kingpin. He's like, and I want to hug my wife. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, you're in trouble for a lot of stuff. Can we not worry about? Make sure I hug my wife.
Yeah.
Okay, this is my top priority. You hug your wife.
Yeah.
Let's see. How do I word
I
this?
passed the bar. I'm writing
Right.
it respectfully. And he fucking press his body against his wife.
And this guy's bad news. You know, you don't want to be the judge that goes no. You don't know what's going to happen to your family. I mean, this jury, you're being picked for a jury. You're freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to.
Now, how it's not easy to get out of jury duty. This is in Mexico. In any country, though.
You just shit a brick.
Just
just-
say you're racist or something like that.
Well, they go to you. Let it slip out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, what do you do for a living? They'd say, and I'd say, I've been a podcaster. And they're like, for a living? Like, yeah, I've done it for 14 years. And I go, I don't think there was podcasting 14 years ago. Is that how you're going to lawyer? Because I was there. Right away, dismissed.
Yeah.
I would think, you know.
Drop the N-bomb.
I'd be a good jury member. I like to participate. I participate in Halloween. I went as Aretha Franklin. It's very hello. Am I dismissed? What? Yeah. Do you think you'd be a good jury member? Yep. And I'm going to be rich. All right. Dismissed. You know. I'm not on trial here. You're out of order. You're out. I'm just kidding. I'm an actor. I like attention. Yes, I'm ready to be on this jury.
That one's my favorite one.
Wear the judge wig, that fucking smelly judge wig that you guys have.
How dare you?
It is horrible.
Did you smell it?
Yes.
Why?
I went through, so you guys have a bunch of costumes left over from your, is it clowning, all clowning, or kind of like,
No, that
because you were doing sketches too, or
that judge thing is for his which
one of his
is it?
albums.
Yeah, Sue Everybody.
Yes.
We went into, we went to a real courthouse on their lunch break.
This is your justice system, America.
Stood on their fucking tables and chairs and shit to take pictures. They didn't even, we went past their metal detectors for some reason, all because I made a call to the court saying, I'm going to have a camera and we're going to do something important. And they were like, have the whole court. Do you need a judge?
Wow.
It was so nuts. I was like, so we're coming tomorrow. And they're like, yeah, sure. Didn't go through the metal detectors.
Yeah.
Had an entire courtroom to take pictures. That's on the cover of Sue Everybody.
You hear that, El Chapo? Just say you're doing a photo shoot where you fuck your wife in the courtroom.
Now, we dismissed 5 cases.
It was important.
Yeah, that judge wig smells horrendous.
Well, shout out to Matt Bray, who's the photographer.
Yeah.
Well, we saved this stuff for you, by the way. You're supposed to launder it, not just throw it in the closet for 10 years and then go, I got to be honest, your Santa suit smells. What? Throw it
Santa
out.
suit smells the worst.
Well,
You
it's-
just
But
wore
it's
it.
But it's a Santa suit. You can't throw out a Santa suit. They're so expensive.
So you understand.
I do. Yeah, I do. That's a comedian's plight. It's like you ever encounter a ridiculous costume. You're like, that's going to be $150 retail. And then
Right.
next week, I'm going to need a fucking Santa suit.
I'm cleaning out some of my stuff. I just found a duffel bag full of clown outfits. A duffel bag. But now I got 3 nephews all reaching the age where I can
Yeah.
slap those babies on. And then I'm thinking, no,
Yeah.
maybe I just do the magic in my regular clothes.
Yeah, you have the Purple Heart from clowning. You did your service. It's
Thank
over,
you.
Yeah.
Does anyone want my clown clothes?
Yeah, how dare him just go, he does a lot of games.
Yeah, you do.
I do. I have my full magic gigs. Listen, I once did a magic show for my adult friends at 1 o'clock in the morning because we were so high. They were losing their mind. It was so awesome.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. You know what? Don't legalize it. Honest, they don't tell you the whole story, do they?
There was actually no one there. Hunter was just doing a clown show in her apartment alone.
It was so much fun.
I saw on Netflix John Leguizamo's Latin History for Morons. And if you remember, Hemda and I saw him begin this show 3.5 years ago at the Creek in the Cave. He took a week. Was it a full week or just a show or two?
It was either a full week or some people take like 4 days out of the week or something like that. But it was a consecutive. I'm doing this a couple of times, and the thing is they sold out right away. But what happened was Rebecca was like, "Hey, I'm telling the people I know first, so you guys have a chance to get in there." And we bought a few tickets.
Yeah.
And we got to meet him. I have a picture with him. I love him. He's one of my favorites. Oh my God, I was so in love with him. Okay.
Yeah, he sounds very nice.
Hemda.
He married a Jew. Okay.
He sounds very nice. What would he be doing? So we're fairly close to the front. I remember that. And he's drawn on a chalkboard. And just like writing numbers and facts. And I thought it'd be something clever, like the end of the show. Look, I drew a penis, you know? Trick you.
The high art.
Yeah, it was just boring numbers and facts. There's nothing. I don't know if for the special he makes a design, but when I was there with this chalkboard, there's nothing amazing.
Keith had PTSD. He hates being in a classroom, but it was very funny and very interesting.
Well, I don't like that I was included in his show.
What do you mean?
So John Leguizamo was teaching us about the history of Latinos, how they were wiped out by so many attacks, blah, blah, blah. And he says, all right, 95% of this group of Latinos was wiped out. And he goes, so how many people are left? And don't say 5%. And I'm like, I don't know what you're fucking talking about. And somehow right there we make eye contact. And I think to myself, oh, fuck. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one in clubs that are looking at the performer, but there's something about my face that goes, this guy will play along. He won't give me a hard time, and it'll be fun.
Yeah, you actually do. As someone who
What
performed,
am I doing?
It's your head is so big. It's easy to see. It's also the baldness. It's like a beacon.
Right.
It catches a lot of light. So you just scan the room, and there's this big bulb of a head, and you're smiling because you're a performer, so you know what. And I do the same thing. Like, I'll notice that I have like a resting kind of just not frowning, but not smiling face, and I'll make myself smile because I know what that face looks like to performers. So you're probably more warm looking because you know what it's like to be up there.
Right.
And it's like, boom, big head, boom, smiling, done.
So I honestly, I don't know what this guy's talking about. 95% were wiped out by conquistadors. I don't even know what he's saying. Like, I didn't pay attention in school. I'm only here for the jokes. I'm not really learning about the Latin history, am I?
Keith is so mad that he's about to learn something.
I'm
I'm at a show.
There's no dick on the board.
I'm mad.
What's the point?
You know, if I'm included in the show, I couldn't have bought a book from this guy.
I know, just to hug him. I get El Chapo.
Well, here's my point. I should have signed the book for her, not him, or at least both of us.
Do you think he thanked you on his Netflix special?
He better have.
Yeah.
So we make eye contact, and he goes, "You, what's the answer?" Points at me, and I'm not even trying to be funny. And I said out loud, "Oh shit, I didn't mean to make eye contact like that."
Did people laugh?
They loved it.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. Is the biggest laugh.
Sure.
And then, so now he gives me this look like, oh, okay, I'm the comedian, goddammit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You ever see that?
Yeah. Well, don't call upon someone. And if they say something clever, don't be mad.
Right. When you pick on somebody in the audience, you're either making fun of them
Yeah.
or they're going to be funnier than you.
Yeah.
There's no nice thing about it.
Especially if there's like an awkward or the room is a little weird, and then you talk to an audience member and they acknowledge the weirdness, everyone feels relieved. So as a comedian, you should know.
I just want to apologize ahead of time because no matter what Keith says, even if John Leguizamo slapped him with his own penis, I'm going to be on John's side.
Wow.
Yeah, it runs deep.
He says to me,
I got
There's no Vanilla Ice.
tickets to his show as a birthday present, and we were up in the balcony, and then for the second act, he comes in from behind, but I'm in the balcony, so he's walking through other people. He picks someone from the crowd, and he dances salsa with them, and I'm like, why can't that be me? But also, I would have fucked up. I would be like, pick someone else. I don't know how to do this.
Wow, he really gets your pussy wet, huh?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah, his disgusting juice mouth.
Swanda sees me and John being buddies, and she's like, I'll be your buddy.
That's right.
And I'm like, stop talking to me. She'll be your buddy.
Yeah, talk to me. Let me shave my head real quick to be the beacon.
You should be able to, when a comic or a performer picks on you in the audience, you should be able to hand it off to another audience member.
Oh, yeah.
Like you tag them in. It's like, no, this is your person now. I'm out of it.
It's always when you talk to someone as a comedian and they go like, where they like can't even say or they're so shy.
Yeah.
You got to move on.
Right.
Like I hate when comedians are like, what do you mean? It's like this person can't even create words with their mouths. What do you think is going to happen next?
Right. I know he's just trying to make fun of me. I'm the dumb white guy and you're teaching about, Latinas.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's now I'm his go-to guy. And he goes to me, all right, so the Latinas in this part of the world, they ended up getting syphilis. Now, how did they get syphilis? And he points at me.
Oh.
Like, what? And I go, rape. And the whole audience is like, what? And
How else would it be?
and he goes, rape? How would it be rape? First of all, it's always rape.
Yeah.
It is.
What do you mean? How did you get it? And he goes, no, they got it, syphilis, from the invaders having sex with their sheep. And I said, oh, I didn't know the sheep were willing. Place goes crazy. He wants me dead. I never wanted this.
Yeah.
I never wanted this. I've been to a comedy club before. And I'm like, I'm one of, let's say, 5 people. This has happened multiple times.
Yeah.
And so the performer's nervous. And so they start, picking somebody. Yeah. And I have my light bulb head, and they recognize it. And they start, trying to riff off me. And so I say something back. But it's funnier than what they said. But then they have to try to be funnier, so they keep it going.
Yeah.
But I happen to be funnier. And now they get more and more upset. They
Yeah,
want it to end, but they don't know how to end it. I'm sitting there going, just stop hitting yourself.
Yeah.
Stop.
You should do your next special should be you in a crowd doing your stand-up with like a horrible comedian, and then you just end up doing your set via crowd work.
Yeah.
It's the crowd work special, but the opposite.
Again, I'm normally on your side, but this time I think you could have been nicer to my sweetie pie.
Yeah. I should have just said, I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm dumb. Big light bulb
Yeah.
smile.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, you've been in the venue before. He just started running this show. He's asking you for a minute. As a white guy, you owe him.
Maybe I'm in the credits. Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
If he had asked Hemda, she just would have been like,
I just would have taken off my pants.
wow. New type. Interesting.
Yeah.
Noted.
How did they,
God.
how did this group of people get syphilis? And Kunda's like, all I know is I don't have it.
I'll show you how to not get it. How's your wife? I'm sorry.
Louis C.K. performed for 70 minutes in
Sorry.
Paris. He has a girlfriend, by the way, Blanche Gardin, another comedian.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He was set to do 20 minutes, but, sometimes you just feel it and you keep going.
Sometimes you run the light.
The crowd...
Johnny wouldn't do that.
The crowd supposedly was warm. I've been dating this woman, and she's French, he told the audience.
She doesn't understand the news, so she doesn't know what happened.
Quote, any shitty American is welcome in France.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
Because French are perverts, right?
Well, the comedian, who has admitted to masturbating in front of several women without their consent, didn't directly acknowledge his sexual misconduct. He did talk about the aftermath, saying, quote, I lost $35 million in an hour.
By the way, that's the new thing we're leaning on.
Yeah.
Is that because everyone's like, what did he lose? They never lose anything. They're always okay. That's the quote that I'm hearing is he lost $35 million. So that's the comeback now. Oh, how can you say that? He lost $35 million in 35 minutes type shit.
And then I always go, why did he lose that
Yeah,
money? And
who
they're
did
like,
that?
He did, but I'm like, but why? What happened?
Right. And by the way, in order to get to this $35 million, because they're like, oh, it happened so many years ago. I'm like, right. Because we ignored it, because we, swept it under the rug, he was able to lead up to $35 million. And that doesn't, by the way, put him in the poorhouse. Again, counting other people's money, that's not the point. We don't go to El Chapo like, yeah, you did go through a lot, so hug your wife. You know what I mean?
Right. I lost $35 million an hour. And he said, quote, I had a lot of trouble in the PR department. And then what? And then the audience is like, you did. It's crazy out there.
Someone needed to get fired.
The girlfriend was watching his set from a balcony. How do you show up? I don't know. It's too... I don't know. Like, she has to have a fucked up past, right?
I always feel bad for these people. For the people dating.
Well, yeah, I think it's like, there's a comedian in our community recently who stirred up some trouble, and I've had opinions about her for a while, but I think, and she's defending shitty stuff, and it's like, for you to get behind this person, you believe men are better than women, you believe every man is better than you, you feel horribly about yourself constantly. So it's it's a special type of hell, and
It is, but it's almost like, you know, there's another comic that I could think of that is not out as a gay person, but always does gay impressions. And yes, it's self-hating. And yes, I feel bad because we created the world that you have to do that.
Sure.
We all together. But at the same time, it's like, well, I can't ask everybody to hold themselves responsible except for you, you know, and you get a little bit of a pass because you are in the marginalized group. We did, you know, help create this thing, but at some point, in or out, I don't know, you know? So I do always feel bad for the person dating this person because, I don't know, this could be like the opportunity, you know, for love, for, you know, for upward mobility in the comedy world. Maybe she's using him like he used other people, you know, maybe she's the sinister one with like, hey, you're going to be fucked up. I'm going to be fucked up too. There's so much that we have to go, you know what? I don't care.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
agree. Yeah, I don't care, but I do.
But it is rough, and we do
I do know what
empathize.
it's like to believe every man's, to meet a man. And I noticed recently that I have to not do this. Every time I meet a man, I'm like, I have to impress him, or he must know something that I don't. And it's so underlying, like there's so much of that below the surface that I think it's to just be like, she's a dumb bitch is like reductive.
Yes.
Yeah.
The couple were spotted holding hands in October in photos published by People. I mean, you know, the magazine. You're like, well, I assume,
And also
Keith.
human beings.
Have a little research, Keith. No, I mean the magazine. At the Caesar Awards in March, France's equivalent of the Oscars, Garden, the woman, wore a pin with CK's face on it while performing a sketch about Time's Up and the Me Too movement against sexual harassment in Hollywood.
Wait,
What?
pro or against? What?
Right, you have to assume it's you know, you're pro Time's Up, you're against the men, and
What does she think time's up means?
but she wore the pin anyway.
Oh, she's trying not to run her light. She's like, "Oh, I don't want time to be up.
Interesting. Wow.
Like, yeah, I'm on the side of good, but you know, you don't know the whole story. You don't know what Louis and I talk about in private.
Yeah, I feel like I've been there because there's a thing to go through as a woman. There's a thing that you've been denying everything that has happened to you just because it became such social norm. Then when you wake up to it, you realize that you defended it because you thought that was the truth. Then you start kind of getting angry,
And then
you
you're
become
like, am I defending something now that
Exactly.
that is fucked up?
yeah. So
Ugh.
then you go through like an angry phase where like you're scared that you actually will never like men again, and then you kind of come down from that, and it's like, well, I got to live a normal life. I just have to decipher a couple more things that I didn't before.
Yeah.
See, I try to respect women.
To try your best.
I try my best, and I despise her. As a favor to her, I respect her and despise her.
It's certainly curious. But I mean, he's going to find someone. He's going to be with someone.
Sure,
That's going to happen. So,
Yeah, men usually date up.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because the guys who are like, oh, yeah, well, what about the women who date these rich guys? I'm like, you know what? Every guy that says that, I'm like, you know, you could do that too, right? You could work out, get spray tans, make sure your hair is always done, your clothes are always tight, your waxing is always right. And you can get an older woman who is out of shape, not your type at all, doesn't bother about hygiene or anything, throws money at you, and you blow her all day whenever she feels like it, but you get the princess shit that you want.
But she's ugly, though. I can't be with an ugly woman.
You're going to work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
if you don't respect that work, then don't say that they're, you know, dating up just because you want their money.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you guys do with your I vote pin? Your sticker. What do
I
you do
gave it
with
to Andrea so she could feel right in this country.
I can't vote.
Donald Trump has spoken back to accusations of him using racial slurs, the N-word in the past. Michael Cohen, Omarosa, all saying, "I've worked with this guy, and he'll spout the N-word like it's, you know, saying good day."
Do you ever think someone's reading the newspaper and going, "What?
Right.
Not my Donald."
Yeah.
I didn't use racist remarks, and if I did, you would have known about it, Trump said.
If I did it, the new book.
Right.
You'd have known about it. Like you don't have a history on tape.
Right. What are the Mexicans bringing in again?
I've been hearing there's been tapes for years and years and years. There's tapes. I never
Good luck finding them.
Yeah, I never worry about it because I have never used racist remarks.
How could anyone say that that's our age or older? Anyone.
Yeah.
How could anyone say that?
Lil Jon is saying, well, I was on Celebrity Apprentice, and he would call me Uncle Tom.
Wow. Wow.
And Donald Trump says, I never met Lil Jon.
What if I went through life doing this?
We should really try
yeah,
that.
I wonder how far I would get.
Yeah, no, didn't
Like,
do
hey,
that.
Andrea, did you do this work? Yeah, I did. I don't see it. Well, I did, so fuck you. And Mexicans are rapists, and I didn't just say that, and you said that. And what is...
John Leguizamo rates me and goes, oh, I heard I made you uncomfortable a couple years ago?
Nope.
No, I'm good.
Who told you that?
I heard it on your show.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
It got, I don't know. So, I mean, is it my voice? I don't know. What? I do a lot of words, huh?
Who is this again?
This is actually a narcissist tactic I've learned. I've been learning a lot about narcissists recently, and they like to confuse you. Like, they'll throw 25 different... When you're arguing with them, they'll throw all different points of, like, this time, and you this and this and this and this, where it's like they don't make cohesive... Nothing makes cohesive sense, and it's like, am I crazy?
Yes, and they're coming at you very simple. So it feels like you're confused because you're dumb because they're saying such simple things.
Why don't you want me to be happy?
Right, but you can't keep track of a lot of things, you know? So it's like, wait, this isn't adding up, but I can't go back in time and like, I was just living my life, and all of a sudden you're confused. They leave you in that state of confusion, light some more fires around, and then by the time you get to those fires, some stuff burned down because you're stuck in that element. Yes,
so
we've been studying this.
Well, I think I'm very good at stopping non-conversations. When somebody isn't giving you all the facts of a story, and I will go like, yeah, okay. Well, what do you think, Keith? I think you left something out. Like, what did I leave out? I don't know, but I'm an adult, and your story doesn't tied together.
Yeah.
And when you're ready to tell me the whole story, you'll tell me.
Motherfucker, I've seen Keith do that, and I'm like, yeah, he's right. I gotta stop talking. And I've learned to stop talking. Keith goes, you gave me a lot to think about. And I'm like, that's like his death. Like, he just, I'm done talking to you now.
Well, because like regular...
No, he's right much.
He's right.
I say, you're trying to trick me. And so then it's everybody's trying to trick you, Keith. Ha, ha, ha.
Yeah, well,
I'm
that's a weird term to use.
It's a great term. And people hate it because I figured you out so fast and I put a word to it. It's a fucking trick. And then that fake laugh they do back is another trick. And I'm like, goodbye.
Because it's like, oh, you're crazy. Yeah, I'm trying to trick you.
I woke up today saying, I am David Copperfield.
I wish I was that smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is. It's really crazy making, because it's like you have a conversation with someone like that, and then you have a conversation with a normal, sane person, and it's so different. And you're like, oh, yeah, the first conversation wasn't normal. This is what a normal... I know what a normal person intent is when I'm talking to them.
But that's why isolation is such a big deal with this narcissism stuff, because then you can't compare. So if you confuse me constantly, if I don't go talk to Keith and go, here's what happened, and as I'm telling Keith what Andrea said to me, I'm like,
well, let's not bring me into this shit.
Right. But, as you're talking, and I've had this happen before, I'm like, oh, we're fine now because I spoke to this person. And it's like, here's how we're fine. Well, he said, wait, this isn't, as you're describing it to that other person, it starts not adding up. And this is why we encourage talking to somebody else. And if you can't talk to anybody else, you need to see a therapist or go to like some sort of, group meeting or whatever, because you have to relay the information. It has to make sense to you, or someone might be trying to do that to you.
Yeah. What's also if you're not talking to other people, it's because you're embarrassed about like, I'm in this situation with this person I'm supposed to trust, and I have no idea what they're saying, and I feel threatened, but they're not directly. Like, anytime you won't share a story about your partner or someone in your life with others because or you amend it to make the partner look better.
You leave one thing out.
Yeah. Then
that's the biggest thing in your mind, but
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that will shift the whole thing. It's shifting it for a reason.
Yeah. God damn it.
Yeah, if this sounds familiar, talk to someone.
Go to ACOA or
Anything.
Al-Anon or something.
Anything. Go to AA even though you never drank before in your life. I'm not even kidding. Tell them why you're there, and they'll figure it out with you.
Yeah.
Look at this.
Thank you.
By the way, speaking of therapy, what's going on with your new album?
Oh. The king of transitions. It's funny, actually. I've been debating whether or not to take out a part of the album because it's such a direct attack on my father and his wife.
Ooh, yeah, you went there hard.
I went there so hard.
And then I could see your thinking because I'm around you so much, and I could see the same thing when Keith is on stage, and I also can see Keith in you when you're on stage, just for moments. You know, I know that you definitely have your own voice at this point, especially, but I see it. And I see the Keith in his face, and then you drop the word, and the whole crowd explodes, and you kind of explode a little in your mind, but you're like, I said it.
Yeah, that's certainly a Keith influence for sure, is being like, this is the boundary. I probably shouldn't break it. I'm going to. Yeah.
I don't know why I thought I wasn't going to.
I know. I always am like, I'll be discerning. And then I'm out there just screaming his wife's first and last name and be like, whore!
Yeah, when you started naming off Social Security numbers, I'm like,
This seems a little...
I didn't even know Canada had those. Okay.
It's actually social insurance numbers in Canada.
Yeah, you were so clear and oddly specific.
Well, yeah, the thing is, I remember before, the bit itself has like 3 main hits at the very end, and I was laughing. You know how comedians sometimes, it's more common of black comedians, they'll laugh at themselves on stage. They'll say something and be like, you're crazy for that one, like that kind of cadence. And I started laughing before I said the final punchline, and I was really laughing because I believe this is so bad. I just remember being, this could be really bad, because it's a discussion about her disclosing something very like way private to me in a super public setting, and the thing she's disclosing to me is sad. And it's not that I don't have empathy that thing happened to her. However, it's wildly inappropriate that she's disclosing it to me in a public place, and my dad is ignoring it. It's just this whole crazy fucking situation.
The picture is magical.
Yeah, it's
like you paint a picture, and it's like, and you drop the end of it, and people are exploding because it's like, nah, that didn't really happen.
Sure, I'm laughing at this woman's, like, one of her most tragic life events, but I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the whole. It's one of these crazy making situations where, because that bit is very much about, like, I feel like I'm in a clown house constantly with my family, and I'm like, I didn't do this.
Yes,
but it's also very funny. But to release that,
I see what you're saying. We're gonna ask the audience: does Andrea keep this thing in the album?
the thing is, okay, so
What do you mean? Oh, Hemda, the answer is yes, and of course she shouldn't.
The tension is, if I release it, it's very tangible audio of me mocking and saying very, very, like, cutthroat things about how I feel about the situation that I haven't even said to him, nor how would I benefit from saying this?
They should have bought a goddamn ticket to your show.
Sure, exactly. And then, but if they have that is a piece of audio that is so clearly, it would make me look like a asshole.
I understand the feeling because I know that Keith and I have been speaking on a podcast for almost 14 years now.
Yeah.
And we spoke freely about our family, and we speak freely about, the friends that we meet and stuff like that. And I always try to speak like I would if someone was listening, because I will have to eventually face someone. Sure. But when the book was coming out, I was like, oh, this could more get in front of people. I need to give my parents a heads up that I'm putting out a sex book, right? Mm-hmm. Because like an album is a one-time thing that they understand, like Louis C.K. puts out an album, Bill Burr puts out an album. Mm-hmm. It's more tangible in that older people, like they don't need to download a podcast or know what it is.
They
or
understand that.
Yeah. So it is more accessible. And more likely, because it's like 1 hour of what the fuck you've been doing for the last few years. Yeah. And you can't bleep her name because she's gonna know.
Well, her name is also funny. Like, there's a laugh at her name. Her name is funny. So
we put up the poll. All right. Do you keep this story in your stand-up? But everybody who says yes has to have a spare room for you to stay in if you ever need it.
Once I'm written out of the will. I don't know. What do you think, Keith?
Maybe you're thinking, well, what would Keith say, based on his old albums? I never had anybody in my life that would have a will. So I'm very, very different when it comes to bravery.
Sure. Yeah. It really is.
I'm not getting the prize cow. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. I mean, and I don't want to have like, it is also like, as much as I've spoken about my dad over the years and the trouble we have with one another, there is something that bit is written out of anger. And I'm less angry as I get older and more just trying to have the best possible salvageable relationship with him. So it drums up that, and the anger is still, it's still there.
Yeah.
But it's much less it's much less fresh. So
You know what Chemda says?
do it, get disowned.
Nope. Take it out, put it for your Patreon users only, and they need to not be fucking bitches about it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
And then you take it down after like 24 hours.
And then you assume there was a bitch out there.
Yeah.
That's true too.
I mean, when your parents, have they ever confronted you over anything? Your dad does, but in a very roundabout way, right?
People have
Sent things.
sent things to my parents' house of
That's a
things
bitch
That's
move.
so
of
crazy.
things that I said.
Yeah.
And he should know. He knows now, like, not to see it. But then, you're going to be curious if it shows up in your mailbox.
Sure.
In a tape recorder, you can just press play.
Yeah. I wonder who that was.
I think there's more than one person.
Wow.
It
I think so,
happened
too.
multiple times. I
Yeah.
think it's more than one person.
These
So
fucking losers.
Yeah, because it also had different styles.
you just gotta, expect that everything you say will get to the person. I did. We don't take things out of Keith and the Girl episodes. We don't edit. But with that said, I did once. I was talking about my ex-mother-in-law, and she was bringing up not understanding transgender people.
Mm-hmm.
She understands gay people, but transgender people, she can never get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I said this on the show, and then I just wanted to say to her, "Who asked you?"
Yeah.
and then I put that show out, and my wife hears it, and she's like, "No, you can't say that." And
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, what did I get out of that? Why is that important? I
Yeah.
could have said I was talking to a friend. Why'd I have to be so specific? And then in the middle of the night, I come back to the studio and I take it out, and then I'm almost upset. I'm like, I think I have to take this out. And I'm just like, well, of course. And I'm like, I know, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
As if it ruins my integrity. Who gives a fuck? Like, you have to think, what do you get at? Is it worth it? Is it
Yeah.
that fucking hilarious?
Well, I remember when we were writing our book, Keith was writing about meeting my dad for the first time, and I was like, "You're being really disrespectful," And he's like, "Think about what I'm being disrespectful about. This is ridiculous. I'm just saying weird shit."
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of the things where I'm like, I'm gonna let it go. I don't feel 100% right about it, but I don't want my father to stop me from writing the book that we would write.
Yeah.
But that was probably one of the toughest ones. And I don't even know why. I bet if I read it now, it's like, because now it's easier for me to call my dad a prick.
Sure.
Because I'm like, wait, my dad's a prick. Oh my
Well,
God.
yeah, that's what it is. I guess it's weird to draw from family things because innately you still have this need to protect them. Or
Well,
still...
on my family, their whole thing was privacy. That was part of my hell. This is really the true me. I don't want to stop myself from saying things, and I don't want to stop you from saying things about me. And I feel like at this point, I really mean that. But their whole thing, I remember in 6th grade, I finally, quote, confessed to a friend of mine. That's how we became best friends for a long time. I'm like, I don't know, my parents are not perfect. And I started saying, like, they really upset me. And that's all I didn't say. I was crying. I was like, I don't mean to disrespect my parents by telling you that I'm uncomfortable with some of the shit that they're, telling me. And she's like, it's fine. That's so, because other people are like, my mom's such a bitch sometimes. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure your mom can hear you in some way.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And
Yeah.
I would protect and protect and protect and protect. And every time I confessed a little, I was like relieved because everybody else felt the same way. And then I don't have to be like, I didn't know any other Middle Eastern people either, even though I was surrounded by Jews. I'm like, how come everyone's a Jew and I feel different? Like all that shit needed to be getting out. And the thing is at this point, if my father wants to do something, he needs to fucking stand behind it at this point. And people listening right now, that they know that you did certain things, you were fine with those things.
Yeah. If it's so okay, then why is everyone laughing at it like it's ridiculous? Like,
And
that's
plus, if that's your discipline, then stand behind it.
yeah.
If your discipline is to constantly shut me down, then, I'm doing the wrong thing and don't worry about it.
Well, I think that's what initially drew me to you guys when I was like a younger person, because you did both talk shit about your parents, and I had trouble with my dad, and I think it's a very common,
Yeah.
families are more often much more flawed, or there's a lot more going on. The whole, there's such this fear of like families have to be pure and you can't
Yeah.
disrespect your family, and family is all you have, and
Right.
if the shit hits the fan, everyone will leave you except for your family. So there's
Right.
this very, very like huge so much importance is placed on it, and if you're in a family that has dysfunction,
Which is everybody.
yeah, which is human beings, so it's a very bizarre to break away from it. I feel guilty.
Yes.
I feel guilty all the time, and I'm like, but I don't feel guilty. Like, well, I don't feel guilty when I speak openly about my friends, and I also edit what I say about my friend, if you can believe it or not.
Yeah.
I do, but that's the thing. It's like my friends know who I am. They know how I'll react to something. If we have a confrontation, we'll be honest with one another, and we'll both know that we're coming from a good place, and then it'll be over. But with it's just, it feels like you're dodging in and out of different realities when you're talking.
How much money do you think you would get in the will?
A lot. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, but
Okay, so let's say it's $1 million, right?
yeah.
Then
That's, by the way, anyone who's 40, $1 million is our thing. Do you remember what was this movie?
it's the $1 million, Dr. Evil.
Dr.
yeah.
Dr. Evil.
And they're like, that's actually not that much money.
right, right.
Yeah.
That's us. That's
Yeah.
us when we talk about it. Did he give you $1 million? Yes, yes, he
Okay,
did.
so let's say it's $20 million, right? If he, and I don't think I'm exaggerating, if he said to you today, just don't put that in, I'll give you $20 million, what would you do? My art? You
Yeah,
know?
don't put it in. I would tell you not to put it in. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You have so much art. This isn't a cop out.
Well, yeah, that's the thing too, and it's like I don't want to respond to someone with the threat of money, because that is a manipulation that has been going on for my whole life. Is the threat of there's money and I give it to you, and I show you I love you with it, and then I take it away, and then I
Yes.
shame you around it. So I don't take money from him, and I don't.
That's very clear.
Yeah.
You live a very artist lifestyle.
Sure, sure. So, and it's also like if someone manipulates you, I don't want our relationship to be based on a manipulation of money. I don't think that's healthy for either of us. If he wants to truly have a relationship with me, then money should be out of the picture, because then that's a true, I think everyone in his life.
Yes, I think he's now, if in Keith's scenario, the $20 million would be on the table, he's just expressing to you how much he doesn't want it in there. It's one thing. He can't from now on say what he can and cannot have. You have $20 million. Now you can say anything but that. I don't know.
Sure, I know.
You know?
Yeah.
I'll say it for you. For $1 million.
There's just
Still a lot of money to me.
it's just dubbed in. It's you being like, and anyways, it cuts to you being like,
No, suddenly Keith has a father bit that resembles how you grew up.
sure.
I just needed to get it out.
And he's married to this woman.
I should go back to Canada where I was born.
I'm gonna pour ice on my tits now. Yeah.
So your album cover,
Yes.
that's the thing I wouldn't want my dad to see.
Oh God, I know. I just can't stop. I can't
You
stop
really
putting
can't.
things out that are so unbelievably polarizing.
This is the most memorable album cover I've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah, I fucking love
Okay.
it. I love it. It came into my timeline. I was like, oh yeah, that's Andrea. This is glorious.
Sure.
Have you gotten people's reactions to the album cover?
Yes.
And?
Wildly mixed. So I sent it.
Now you know who your friends are. Drop anyone who says it's not good. I'm just kidding.
Well, Emily was very, very trepidatious about it at first.
It makes sense.
I get it. I mean,
Describe it.
okay, so it's actually based off of, and this is you guys introduced me to Andrew WK, and I had not heard of him as a listener. I loved him. I think he's so interesting. I
He's
mean,
so fascinating.
yeah, his music.
What a
is
weirdo. He's right up your alley.
Such a freak.
Yeah. You would marry him.
Oh, in a minute.
He's
He's my John
Yes,
Leguizamo.
he is.
he's very open. His one song is fantastic.
Yes.
He's very positive. I remember we were he was telling us a story about people throwing bottles, the clown posse, insane clown posse.
Yeah.
People were literally throwing bottles at him, and he's just like trying to remain positive on stage, just like, we can all get along type thing. And Keith and I are like, is this guy real? And it was in the old studio. He came all the way out to far out Queens in his white outfit that he only wears.
Did he wear the white outfit in the studio? That's
single
so great.
time.
I love it.
That's a suit to him, that T-shirt.
Yeah.
I wish. I mean, I kind of just wear crop tops and leather pants. Like, I very much.
We're all very happy about your outfit.
Thank you so much.
So his album cover, the story goes, he took a brick and smashed it in his own face, and it's him all bloodied up. He won't say if that story is true or not, but he enjoys that it's out there. With that said, you saw that picture and thought, I want to do something like that?
Yes. Well, it's so memorable. It's so eye-catching. You can't unsee it. It's also very simple, and I don't know. He got so much press around that. I think it got banned. I was reading about it. Anytime something gets banned, I'm like, ooh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, remember Tipper Gore decided that she needs to mark music explicit or not. She made everybody do it, and then teenagers were just going to find explicit music. You
Totally.
fucking adult weirdos.
Yeah, anytime someone
Get out of little kids' sex life that hard. Ugh.
I mean, anything that's controversial or salacious, people are going to be interested in it. That's just the nature of the beast. But
I get bummed out when a movie's not rated R.
yeah,
Or when I really do. It's like, PG-13. Well, how are you going to tell a story about an alien eating people and it's not rated R? I'm
yeah.
out. Yeah.
You got to be dirty. I mean, you guys are
Be real.
always been very filthy, and that's a huge
Thank you.
influence for me.
Thank you.
Making me very industry friendly. So I was like, okay, I love this album cover. But I want to do it's just his face. It's a very tight shot of his face with the blood, but I wanted to do, instead of blood, have cum coming out of my face.
I just want to know the thought process. Like, okay, do I have someone come on me?
Oh, it was
And then
multifaceted.
You try to remember whose cum had like a good stream.
Well,
like,
let me tell you this, Hemda, because I emailed a photographer, Mindy Tucker, incredible photographer. I love this woman.
Yes.
So I would send her a picture of this, and I was like, I want to do this, but instead of blood, I want it to be cum. And then I was like, but I don't just want like cum going down the nose. I want to do a full like facial bukkake looking photo shoot. She's like from the South. She's so sweet. And she's like, I love this. Okay, so I'm going to start Googling like how people photograph liquids, because I don't think we can just do, because it's mostly milk.
but her demeanor and cadence is nothing like anyone on this show. She's like, oh, sweetheart, I love it.
Yeah. She's so cute. She brought a Tupperware container of fake cum. She Googled that.
Do we know it was fake?
Who knows? That's true.
Go Mindy.
Mindy is a secret. She put milk and Elmer's glue together because it needs to have, the glue gives it like the thickness.
Kids, you listening?
This is how you photograph fake cum.
This is what we've been swallowing for years.
Oh God! I mean, real cum is way worse than glue milk combo. So
Depending on how much asparagus.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like.
Right.
Oh
no,
my God.
They don't need it.
Yeah. Pineapple, my ass.
I agree.
So basically, we did a 3-part thing. So we have, I put, what is it? Frosting.
Oh,
I put
nice.
white frosting under my nose to create that like caked on. Because Andrew WK, the blood looks like caked on a little bit, like some of it's more
dry.
Yeah, exactly. So I did that as a base coat, and then I poured cream all over I poured cream on my head, and I let it run down my face multiple times. I also like put the cream in my hair. My hair is like pretty wet. And then
This is in Mindy's studio.
in Mindy's studio,
Nice.
and
Who's supposedly fucking your face? Human centipede?
it's the patriarchy, Keith. The patriarchy's fucking my face. And then Mindy put, this was for a bukkake photo shoot. This was the cutest shit ever. Mindy bought squeeze bottles, and put the glue, milk, whatever consistency in the squeeze bottles. And then Hannah Boone was there holding the squeeze bottles. So I'm in I'm like in front of a black background.
And you had one take. Like
Yeah.
everyone needed to be on their game. Your face needed to be ready. Your eyes
High
open.
priority,
Your mouth like filled with jizz.
I have fake
Hannah had to
eyelashes.
aim.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Mindy had to catch it in the right light, in the right and with the right drippings. And let me tell you something. All three of you guys are rock stars.
Thank you so much.
One take, man. I'm impressed.
Just Hannah Boone spraying me with milk.
You
And
guys will be friends forever
yeah,
now.
I'm like crying because it really felt, honestly, to all the porn actresses that do this, wow.
Shout out.
This is horrible. It was in my eyes, and like I had false eyelashes on, and they kept like getting stuck together because I was trying to open my eyes, and the milk was everywhere. And Mindy got.
Let me tell you something.
Uh-huh.
Your dad's not hearing this album. Don't worry about it.
That's true. The cover will be. You're right. I mean, I'm scared to show this cover to my mom. She's fun, but that's a very graphic looking photo.
And you can't undo that anymore. It's kind of going to launch your career in a specific way because
To the gutter.
this is
Launch it to the ground.
But I think this is exactly what you should be doing. I think it's beautiful.
Be
and
fucking funny. Like,
Yeah.
it's obviously a joke. It's a comedy. But I did the photo that we ended up getting. It's like splashing off of my face, and I look all like, you know.
like you look surprised and dutiful.
Sure.
It's very good.
Yeah,
you
thank
really
you.
captured like what we do in that moment, and just like,
Ugh.
of course I want it.
Yeah, I love it.
Get it in my eye extra.
This is totally what sex should be like for
Oh,
women.
It tastes so good. No, your cum tastes the best.
Aw, your dick's so big. There's so much cum.
Oh, did you only eat cake for a month? This
Uh-huh.
tastes so sweet.
Your horrible fucking diet. But so
Have another soda, you bitch.
yeah, seriously.
What?
Ugh.
So don't drink soda, drink water.
Yeah.
Oh, the soda.
If you have a bad diet, your cum is so much worse.
I tried to mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Keto.
Listen, yeah.
Let me taste your meat jizz.
Oh, yeah, actually, that's true. But so then the photo itself, I sent it to a bunch of people, and a lot of comedians thought it was very funny and were like, oh, this will get attention.
And just to be, you put on top of it the words,
toxic masculinity.
which I think really does change it from you're just another bitch with cum on her face.
Yeah.
For lack of a better
The
term.
art.
Hey, bitches with cum on their faces, go you.
Yes.
Great picture, solid work, but toxic masculinity paints the
wink.
picture that you're actually
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a reference to one of the bits in the thing, and it's like, and also I'm like having these fake arguments in my head with people who are like, oh, this is crazy. I don't know if anyone will react to it, but I'm like, if you think this is gross, this is what porn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's gross, yeah, sure, it is gross. That's what it is. So, do you think you're gross because you do it? Like, you know,
right. This is when you jack this picture right here is when you guys have your happiest time.
yeah. So,
Right?
I would say a happiest time.
on your deathbed, you're like, what are
birth-
your best memories?
The birth of my child. That woman's face covered in glue.
I mean, you guys can't stop talking about it.
Yeah.
We love talking about it.
Yeah.
I don't know who can just hanging out with at these meetings.
Yeah.
But we can't stop talking
You don't even
about
notice how much you talk about
it.
it.
Yeah. Well, Emily changed her mind with the toxic masculinity written on it, and
She didn't like it at first.
she didn't like it at first. She went, "Wow, seriously?" And I was like, "Whoa!" And then a lot
Well,
of
by the way, to us, you sent to both Keith and me, you just sent the picture without the words
Yeah,
on
I
it.
forgot.
And then like a couple minutes later, you're like, oh, here's the context. And I'm like, oh my God, you just sent me like, we could have just thought you were trying to text your boyfriend or something.
I did this expensive photo shoot so my boyfriend could have the best cum shots.
I saw so much of you in the past, like, I don't know how long.
There's so many pictures of me trying to like wipe it off. It looks like I'm crying. The whole photo shoot was so savage, but a lot of people like it. There's a possibility that it might get flagged as explicit,
Perfect.
which is
There's a possibility.
yeah. There's a
There's
possibility.
a possibility. They block on iTunes, especially. You can't write the word fuck. You have to put an ampersand or something in there.
But this one's gonna
Excuse
get
me.
through just fine. What do you think, Keith Malley?
You're disgusting.
Yeah, you just wrote disgusting to it. That's the only comment you've made.
No, again, I don't think you have to worry about your dad hearing it.
Well, Keith, this is not.
I'm gonna
shaming,
send it to your dad.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
But you tend to get a little not nervous, but you're like old school is you're putting your face as like you're not in porn and this is a porn shot and you get a little uncomfortable with it. Totally understandable.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's not like prudy or anything. It's just you're a young lady and
This is
there's
a
cum on
move.
your face and you wouldn't feel comfortable if this was your daughter.
No.
And I think and I think you think a lot from that perspective, like, holy shit, if this was my daughter, I'd have a lot of feelings about it. And so I think it leaks into even if it's just your friend.
Well, first of all, I wouldn't let my daughter work here.
But you also, okay, let's forget daughter. You wouldn't want your girlfriend or your wife to have that picture out of them.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, I think like that would make you feel very uncomfortable.
No, I mean, I don't know that that's necessarily true.
Really?
Interesting.
You'd be cool about it?
I wouldn't have a parade around it.
Kyle comes out with an album real quick. Kat secretly has a side business.
Right.
The best self with her just getting jizzed on.
Sure. I get it.
Do you think it's a bad move or you're just
No, I don't think it matters.
yeah,
Yeah, I think it's good and it's bad and it's everything. And
sure.
That's true. That's for sure true.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
certainly not anytime people have reactions to things, I think that's a positive thing. And that's kind of all I think about it. I'm not like, oh my God, also, I guess this is the final nail in the coffin
You keep
of
saying that, though.
ever being able to, I know,
You
God.
keep saying that.
This is the nail in the coffin of ever being able to live in polite society in a Googleable way.
It
You know
wasn't
what I
when you
mean?
posted your ass. It wasn't
I guess,
when you.
yeah. Yeah, that's true.
what's it like?
It's not your whole podcast called
Yeah.
Hot Mess Comedy
Yeah,
Hour.
yeah.
Please listen to me talk about every single disgusting thing that I do.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, we've done things for 14 years, but you see, when we're in a magazine or a news article, they always find the 1 to 3 same pictures.
Yeah.
So, are you okay with this being
Exactly.
your picture all the
Sure,
time?
I look great in it.
Okay.
That's true.
Uh-huh.
That's true.
It's not a bad picture.
Yep. And I think
It does represent the happiest times I've ever had.
I'll just change it to happiest times.
I do think at the end of the day, the pictures and the stuff, the content and the information that you put out there is sifting through for friends that are going to come into your life. And it is deterring some people from talking to you or buying your album or whatever. And I think it ends up being a good thing.
Yeah, I don't want you
Because-
fucking narcs around.
Yeah. And those people are not going to like you anyway. And
No, certainly not.
and they're gonna make you doubt all your decisions for the rest of your life. And it's like, at the end of the day, at the end of your life, what is this picture gonna do?
Nothing. It's gonna be on my gravestone.
Yes, it'll be on my gravestone.
Uh-huh.
It's so good.
Should we put up a poll? Is this picture too much? Yes, no?
Oh wait, are you putting it out yet or no?
I haven't put it out
The
yet.
picture.
No, I can't. But I've put it out privately, but I haven't put it out in public.
Okay.
All right, let's put it out public.
No, I can't do that. I don't want to leak it before it goes out.
Leak.
Yeah.
You gotta follow her so that when it launches, that's the.
If you're picturing a cum shot, you pretty much got it.
No, you gotta see this. It's beautiful.
I mean, Mindy Tucker was thrilled. She's like, "This is iconic." I'm like, "You're such a sweet."
Was it weird that she showed up with 10 guys?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, you misunderstood.
It has to be authentic.
Somehow Billy Procida got the word and showed them.
Oh,
like,
God,
no,
I'd be there
who
in a
put out the
heartbeat.
bat symbol? No.
Yeah.
All right, we mentioned this in the beginning. Let me mention it again, please. It's that time of the year at keithandthegirl.com/kick.
So every year we put out over 200 episodes. And if you've been with us for a long time, you know that on a yearly basis, we do need a fundraiser in order to get the next year's episodes going, to kind of keep the machine running. So we're asking you again, and thank you so much. If you're new to the show, if you've listened to us for a month or two, I don't know, what's that, $1, $5?
Yeah.
Whatever you pay for your next sandwich or cup of coffee or something that, I've said this before, 10 cents an episode. How many episodes have you listened to? But go to keithandthegirl.com/kick. Even if you don't think of giving, it just helps to kind of get the numbers to that page. Maybe share it for free if you can't afford even $1 or $2 or whatever. But if you have 5, 10, 100 to spare, keithandthegirl.com/kick. Go there again, either way, and check out our video. Because we love it. Henrik did a really good job. It shows the history of some of the stuff that we've accomplished in coming up on 14 years. We really want to go another year. So If you want Keith and the Girl for another year, please help support the show. keithandthegirl.com/kick. It's our Kickstarter page. And we hope we meet the deadline soon.
At the end of the credits, I swallow a gallon of milk and glue.
Ooh, definitely stay after the credits because there's a little thing that Henrik put in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Henrik.
Yeah.
I need money for lawyers after being sued for this cum shot. Pony up.
Andrea, you can follow on Twitter, Andrea Comedy. Instagram, Andrea_Allen88. The podcast Instagram for Hot Mess Comedy Hour, well, that's what it is, at Hot Mess Comedy Hour. And the website, hotmesscomedyhour.com.
Don't forget to follow us on social media. Follow all the guests. And, you know, if you want to say hi to Andrea, do it. Want to say hi to all the guests, say that you've heard them on Keith and the Girl. That helps us out, too. Thank you so much for all the support over the years. When we tell people that we've been podcasters for nearly 14 years and almost 3,000 episodes, I know we always feel good because we're like, right.
It's nuts.
That's, yeah, right. Because people remind us. They're like, wait, did podcasting exist? And I'm like, right.
Yeah.
We did that.
I listened to you guys with the iPad, the actual wheel that turned and
loved
clicked.
it.
Oh, it was so good.
Yeah.
I was walking around my school, maybe middle school.
That's wrong.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. Talk about bad parenting. Jesus.
I still think it'd be funny. With our VIP program, it's every show we have ever done. I want to change the very first show we've ever done just to be more like this. You know what I mean? And they're going to be like, well, these guys were professional right away.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, welcome to our very first show. I don't know where this is going to go, but I'm picturing over a decade easily. So anyway, let's talk about...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember you guys being like, this is stupid. Like during
Oh,
the episode,
God.
like, this seems stupid. Who are we even talking to? Yeah. You were very nervous sounding.
I didn't know what to do because I didn't intend to really be the co-host, like a 50% co-host. I just, you know, he didn't want to do the show by himself. That's part of why I'm called the girl.
Keeping the bitch.
Yeah. That's what it would be now. But yeah, so I was extra nervous, and then all of a sudden he played my music, and I'm like, I'm totally normal about this. Do you remember your first time on the show?
I do. It was actually, I always come in with controversy, huh?
Yes.
I had interned for you guys. I remember the first time I met you. Well, I'd met you at events. The first time that I talked to you in any like normal capacity was we were making posters for Brother Love's show
Oh, that was fun.
at Cabin, I think.
Yes, in the
Yeah.
back.
At this bar called Cabin, and me and my brother were talking to you guys, and it was like,
Shout out to Derek.
yeah, Derek Hellraiser on the forums. My old forums name was Hellraiser's Horse Sister. So,
Or sister.
And this is the origin story.
yeah. Because so anyways, I kind of talked to you guys, and we had like a pretty normal conversation. I'm sure I was all weird, like, oh, I love, I don't want to be weird, but you know. And then I applied for an internship, and I interviewed, and I wasn't sure if you had remembered that we talked, and I didn't want to bring it up, like, hey, I don't know what we talked, and you know, I just.
How was that interview? Because I remember having these interviews with interns, and really Keith and I would just walk over to see if you guys were crazy. And
Sure.
then whatever your fucking resume was, it was fine.
Right.
It was at some ice cream shop.
Yes.
Like, it was so far into Queens.
Exactly.
It's like 7 hours on the train. And
We
then
wanted to see the commitment
it was
level.
almost like a Baskin Robbins type place. We're like, what the fuck? And I remember I was so nervous, and I was talking about my jewelry. I had this big ring on, and Keith was like, that's a nice ring. And I was like, oh, I made it myself. I'm an elf. And you were just like, what the fuck? Okay. Can you put stamps on envelopes? I don't care.
It was cute because everyone that we met with was so young. And
everyone nervous.
And everyone had one nervous thing that stood out. And I always thought, oh my God, this is so precious. Where it would come out, oh, I see how nervous this person is.
Yeah, because you're not meeting a potential boss. You're meeting like an idol and then also a potential boss.
We tried to be very...
No, you were chill. There's no way, there's no like navigating around this type of situation. That's what podcasting fandom is kind of what makes it weird is I'm privy to all the intimate details of your life. So I feel that I know you, but I've never met you.
And now we're having ice cream.
And now we're having Baskin Robbins Queens ice cream. So fucking weird. And then I I didn't want to bring up that I was like the KTG week whore. There used to be
Are
like
you sure? 'Cause-
there was like 3 of us. It was me.
Are you naming names?
Yeah,
now?
I love
Okay,
it.
good.
D.
Hi, D.
And kind of
And my
your wife
brother.
actually. Catherine made out with a bunch of
She's a
people.
partier.
Yeah, she was. Her and I used to get pretty wasted together. And there was others. There's Sparrow and Lanfear, kind of. You know what I mean? There's
What's her name? Dahone was involved.
Yeah.
There
was a circle of.
Kyle Thompson was a whore.
Oh yeah, I blew Kyle Thompson in the basement of the Bowery Poetry Club.
Look at that. And that's the thing. Like, looking back, you could have just taken a picture then and there.
I know, right? Kyle. Oh yeah, he just broken up with his girlfriend. We were interns together. He'd just broken up with his girlfriend. And I didn't even, Kyle's very cool in this way that he doesn't show his cards. He's a very cool, collected guy.
He really is actually cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like he's secretly hiding it. He's just like, this is not for right now. We were working together. I never thought he was interested. And then he like grabbed my hand under the bar and I was like, oh, okay. And then I think we were holding hands and I remember you looking and being like, wow, our interns are holding hands right now. What is happening? And then he was like, I have the key to the basement. And I was like, oh.
And to my heart.
Yeah. Well, it didn't work out between us, but thanks for bringing that up, Hel. No, and I blew him in the basement of the Bowery Poetry Club. I also hooked up with intern Mike. I made out with intern Mike. That was embarrassing.
How did that happen? Because you guys don't seem like you would. You and Kyle make sense.
Sure.
Even for just a wonderful blowjob.
Yeah.
You and Mike.
I don't know. Alcohol.
Drunk.
Yeah, a lot of alcohol. Anyway, so I had this kind of reputation, should I say. I hooked up with Brother Love, too. I made out with Brother Love. Oh, my God, who else? There's so many. It's, like, endless. So you guys, how did you...
Do you ever look at our guest page on our website just to reminisce?
Yes. A lot of my ex-boyfriends were through you guys. I'll take apologies anytime for introducing me to these fucking scumbags. Ugh.
You're a better person now.
Oh, am I?
All the warnings were on the show.
I know, God.
The way all these people talked, you knew exactly what was going to happen.
Did I?
No.
Did I?
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know how you guys figured it out that I was like one of your, I guess groupies is a better word. Somehow you figured it out.
It probably wasn't me. Keith is good at that. Like, he picks up on this one subtle word. Why'd she use that word? And I'm like, I don't know. They're just fine. He's like, ba 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 ba, and now I know everything.
Yeah. I don't know how it came about, but I was sitting in my apartment. I was in college, and I was listening to you guys, and then it was like, our new intern, Andrea, and I was like, what? And they're like, is the huge whore. And I'm like, no!
She's been trying to trick me.
Yes, right? Well, I didn't know. It's not that I was ashamed, but I didn't know. Like, you don't bring that up in a job interview.
Sure.
Like, here is my education, and also you may know me from blowing your brother, maybe. Who knows?
Probably.
You might know me from you not being able to enter any bathroom at a Keith and Grill event.
Yes. Oh, John F. O'Donnell. Oh, my God. You're all welcome. My God.
John O'Donnell as Jesus or Muhammad?
I think he was sane at that point in time.
Okay.
He ate me out in a bathroom at
I feel like he would eat out well. In the bathroom is a little hard, though.
He's so small, though. He fits in small spaces.
Now you're just bragging.
Yeah, I know. He's like a little elf. He's like a little box munching elf. So I said, so you guys were like, oh my God, our intern is this secret whore. I mean, what are we gonna do? And I was so embarrassed, and I not about the horror stuff, but about like not telling you. But I didn't know how to tell. Like, what a weird,
you didn't
weird
have to.
work environment.
Yeah.
And so I emailed Hemda an apology, being like, I'm so sorry for being dishonest.
It's funny that you just emailed me.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna email Keith. God,
I wasn't sorry to
Keith was terrifying to work for as an intern. I like didn't even want to look directly at him. So scary.
Thank you.
So scary. So I emailed the good cop. I was like, I didn't mean to be disrespectful, and I think I even was like, I hope you'll still let me work for you.
Oh my God, I hope I was like, nobody cares and it's totally fun and we love you.
Sure, yeah, you were very cool. And then you're
good.
like, do you want to be on the show? And then I came on the show, and I was on with Patrice. And Patrice was throwing shade at me for making out with intern Mike. But I was also talking about like at
I
this.
bet Patrice wanted some of that action.
Oh God, she was dying for anyone to give a shit about her.
Yep.
Please, bitch.
We see you.
Yeah, but she.
What the fuck hen house did I just walk into?
Bitch, you wish.
The truth hen house. Is that what you're looking for?
But I talked a little bit at that point. A listener had started messaging me something weird and sexual. I can't remember, but I talked about him saying like, I pictured you. No, this is what it was. I had dark hair at that point, and he was like, I pictured you as a blonde, but you're still hot. And then at the beginning of like Keith and the Girl, creepy fanness had started and has never ended, by the way.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
how would it?
Yeah.
Yeah. People are still people.
But I'm sure I was stuttery and stuff. I was so fucking nervous. But then and then I don't remember. I don't think I was on for a while after that. Mostly just to get on there and defend my whoredom. And
Do you remember the show number or where we were? Like, was it under 1,000 at that point?
oh yeah,
Under
I
1,000
think
episodes?
I've found it since. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I think I'm about to eclipse. There's few guests who have been on a lot, and I'm moving my way up the ranks. But Patrice is one that's going to be so hard to eclipse because she's been on like over 200 times, something crazy like that.
Yeah, because she was on once a week for a little while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
Who's the rival?
who's the rap right now?
Yeah, do you know?
I do know.
Who?
It's Hennessy.
Oh my God, it is Hennessy, but you're gaining up. Okay, so I just looked it up. You can go to keithandthegirl.com/guests. Oh, you're fourth.
Yeah.
You're fourth. And you'll be past that hopefully by next year. keithandthegirl.com/kick. Let Andrea go. You just passed Brother Love
Wow.
and Jesse Joyce.
Brother Love's a real head shover down kind of guy, just so you know.
Everybody likes somebody that makes a move, I thought.
Especially you put your head back up and he goes, oh no, what about down though?
Like maybe you're confused.
Uh-huh.
No, we were going, you're down.
I'm older than you, so I know it's downtime.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wow, I'm like 20. Please. Yeah. I've been around town, kids. There's a lot of I like to go back and listen to old episodes now, like around the house and stuff like that, because there is so much. There's so many.
How do you pick which one? Because it's three. I don't. Maybe this is weird me asking, but how do you pick?
There's certain funny moments that have like emotional importance to me, just because of how hilarious they were and are. But they like match up with my age at the time too. Like it's nostalgic. So I remember. When you drank your own urine with the...
She's looking at Keith. She's looking at Keith.
When Keith drank his own urine with the alcohol distiller, I listened to that one a lot. Because it reminds me of that studio, your old house a lot. Like, because the house was a very different situation. You come into a house, you walk up the stairs. There's this weird bathroom. You don't know what the fuck it is. And then I never went into your guys' bedroom.
Never?
Never, no. I used to steal a lot of your food, though. I would go when I was hungover and you guys were... off doing stuff. I
feel like you wanted it to be stolen though, because it was on the table. But you're like, no, I'll do it weird.
Yeah, I'll hold the fridge door. I remember I used to hold the fridge door open, like pretend I was getting something, and then I would just shove
food in your mouth.
Shove your pesto pasta in my mouth, and I'm like, I could get caught at any moment.
I used to do that a lot, Brother Love. I'd invite him over, and he would go into the cabinets and refrigerators, and as if he was getting away with something, when obviously he could simply be helping himself the right way.
Yeah.
He'll just grab a handful of shredded cheese, shove it in his mouth.
Yeah.
And the next morning, of course, you see a trail of cheese going to the couch he's sleeping on.
So many.
You're not the only intern or only person who said they used to sneak food from our fridge.
Well, I think what it is even though I know you at this point and I'm working with you, you still have this weird hero status in my mind. So to ask your hero for the pasta in their fridge is like almost disrespectful, but you're so hungry that you just have to steal it.
Meanwhile, now that it would make me so happy. Like, you like my pasta?
Oh my God, yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, I even though you were the friendlier one of the two, I was still very anxious around you.
I'm glad you still ate it because it makes me so happy. I'm like, oh, good.
She was fed.
She was fed. She ate my food. People like my food.
Yeah.
She felt comfortable enough to steal.
Yeah. There's
to
also
steal dumb shit, you know.
the
Like,
history too is like there's so many like it almost feels like seasons. I know podcasts actually do this now, but there's certain people who came in and out. There's people who
I count one of our latest turning points is when you started being a producer, and I count that as like a new wave in Keith and the Girl.
Sure,
and
totally.
It affected me, and it was like a very big deal, and it shifted things a little bit. I like it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many characters to listen to. There's so many people who have come through.
Right, and you know where you came in based on like, were you there through the Patrice years, through like our first fight with another
Sure.
podcast?
There's so many people that you hate and have burned.
Oh yeah,
That's fun too. So we'll see if I make it out alive.
Right. In fact, we have an old episode called The Grudge Hour
Yeah.
where I go through a list of people.
Oh, that happened during the marathon,
It's
right?
a good time, and you'll find it in your VIP list for sure.
Yeah.
Andrea, a pleasure as always.
Well, thank you very much.
You know that.
Say hello on social media.
But not in a creepy way.
That's right.
That's right.